Hello everyone, this is Juan Bloise here with Washington Interpreters. If you are an interpreter in Washington State and you cover appointments for the Department of Labor and Industries, then you know about the SOSi company, how they took over the distribution of appointments about a couple of years ago when the WFSE union influenced L&I to terminate interpreting works. A company that's actually doing pretty good in the end. Now, you know, the SOSi company has had their fair share of issues, but I was actually working on a story that I started working on last week. And then by Wednesday, I came across a video with very shocking and concerning information for our community and injured workers. And then as I was working on that story by Saturday, I received many messages from interpreters via WhatsApp showing me something that's going to shock you. And I have to share this with you. I was not planning on posting a video today, but we have to talk about this. Because the latest thing that this SOSi company, the preferred WFSE union company for L&I interpreters, is doing, now they're helping ICE track undocumented illegal workers. And this is very concerning for injured workers and interpreters as well. So let's get started with this video. Remember to pause this video at any time in order to read the information that you see on the screen. This is one of the many text messages that I received via the WhatsApp app from an interpreter telling me somebody I know just sent me this. As you see right here on the screen, this is one of the many WhatsApp messages that I received. This interpreter shared this image with me and it says, this is something that somebody that I know just sent me. If you see right here, it says SOSi International. The title or subtitle here says Trump admin plans to hire companies to track down undocumented migrants. And so the same story that I started working on just last week, you know, it just became a little more mainstream because I had seen this YouTube video talking about it. So I wanted to do my own investigation. But now by Saturday, interpreters got a hold of this. And how? Well, let's continue. Now, interpreters started sharing with me this image from a Facebook group called ICE Sightings Greater Seattle-Tacoma, reporting on ICE activities. You do that at your own risk. However, this is very interesting because this lady, Lucero Aguilar, here on January 31st, posted this that says to all immigrant workers injured on the job, labor and industries, it says the company SOSi, which provides in-person interpretation services for our state, has just signed a contract with ICE to help them hunt down undocumented immigrants. Now, this is very concerning because the concern is the use of personal information. Okay, she says SOSi may use your personal information and begin detaining people by knowing which physical therapy or medical clinic you attend. And then she's directing here injured workers. She says, bring your own interpreter, a family member, but avoid requesting interpreters from clinics, especially if they use the company SOSi. And then she is pointing to the same Scripps News investigation that I was actually investigating on my own. And this is very concerning. And this is the video from Scripps News from January 26, 2026. As you see right here, this is something that I had encountered myself before I received the text messages. And it is a real video that talks about these things. And I'm going to play this video. Look at the title right here if you want to watch it on your own later on YouTube. But we're going to play this video. I'm not going to play the whole thing, just maybe a minute of it so you get the context. Let's play it.
Scripps News has learned that the Trump administration has been taking steps to hire private companies to help track down suspected undocumented immigrants at home and at work.
Yeah, and that's led some to call them bounty hunters. We're talking about 13 companies that got contracts just before Christmas to help ICE boost their immigration arrest numbers. And if they do so, they can make a lot of money. Many arrests like these begin with ICE first determining where people live or work, sometimes using a lengthy process known as skip tracing. In December, ICE awarded contracts to 13 companies to provide skip tracing services nationwide for the next 2 years. In October, DHS published this document saying ICE had an immediate need for skip tracing using government data, the web, and physical in-person surveillance, providing a collection of photos and documents verifying the alien's residence and/or place of employment to the government. And the job doesn't end there. Contractors may be asked to deliver and serve official government documents to the alien. There is also the potential for bonuses. The more undocumented immigrants they find, the more money the businesses can make.
As you saw in the video, SOSi was indeed one of the companies that signed a contract to become bounty hunters. This is from The Intercept, another outlet that says 10 companies have already made $1 million as ICE bounty hunters. We found them. And as we continue, this outlet is confirming what we already saw in that video. SOS International, or SOSi, another experienced military contractor. This is nothing new. If you watch my videos, I exposed this when they first got the contract. It says right here, the company is a long-time military contractor whose past work spans operating a major military base in Iraq to operating overseas propaganda campaigns. This is the company that the WFSE union pushed and influenced LNI to replace interpreting works with. Now, going back to that Facebook post from Lucero, she is sharing this screenshot from the LNI's website, sharing information about how SOSi provides interpretation services. We all know this page. And she's also sharing a screenshot from usaspending.gov showing the contract number. So I had to actually go and research myself, and indeed this is an image, a screenshot that I took. Indeed, this is a contract for almost $7 million. As you see right there, it is a real thing. And the start date was on October 21st, and the end or potential end date was January 19th. So this is the company. SOSi International is the same company that provides interpretation services for labor and industries here in Washington State. So it is a real thing. Lucero here, she's also pointing out that not in Washington State, but SOSi has court immigration interpreter contracts in other states. And now they're making money as a bounty hunter, helping ICE track undocumented immigrants. This is crazy, and the conflict of interest is just crazy. But nothing surprises me anymore in this hypocritical state with a hypocritical union, WFSE, and a more hypocritical Department of Labor and Industries. Now, one comment on Lucero's post, this lady Janet says, it looks like this contract has already expired. Do you have any links to provide for more updated information? And then Lucero says, ICE extended the contract and signed with other 12 companies. Now, I couldn't find a link for that extension. Maybe Lucero's right. I am still investigating, but I had to make this video to let you all know what's happening. Now, what's really interesting is we have Governor Bob Ferguson, playing the tough guy, as you see on this Facebook post. And he's saying, Bob Ferguson says he's going to partner with anti-ICE activist groups. And he says, I appreciate what they're doing. We'll need to depend on those folks to partner with us on making sure the conduct of ICE agents is being recorded. So he's actually fighting ICE. But don't you appreciate the irony here? Don't you appreciate the irony when the governor is fighting ICE, supposedly? Whether or not you agree with what ICE is doing, this state is fighting ICE. But then we have the Department of Labor and Industries in contract with an interpreting company helping ICE track down immigrants, interpreters that are immigrants, right, that are not completely legal, and then also injured workers. Because again, whether you agree with this or not, Washington State prides itself on being a sanctuary city in Seattle or state. The Department of Labor and Industries allows undocumented immigrants to open up worker compensations claims and all that. And so there is a history of protecting undocumented immigrants. And so they say they are a sanctuary state. They play the tough card right here, like Governor Ferguson. He's saying, oh, you know, we're going to be against ICE. But then you have SOSi helping helping ICE track down undocumented and illegal immigrants. I really don't see how the Department of Labor and Industries and the governor keep on having SOSi as a company when they're doing this. Now, don't get me wrong. SOSi is within their rights. The company is within its rights to contract with ICE. What ICE is doing is, you know, the immigration police. This is something that's going on. It's always existed. But the problem is the conflict of interest that I see with the state of Washington. What are they going to do? Well, if you care about this at all, send Governor Ferguson an email. This is, as you see on the screen, the form to send the governor a message. You can see right there on the web browser how to access that page and fill out that form, okay? And let them know how you feel. I personally do not think that if this is a sanctuary state, as they call themselves, then they could have the SOSi company doing the opposite, right, of what they stand for. So the government needs to step in, and the SOSi company has been horrible to interpreters anyway. This is not a good look on the governor, not a good look on Labor and Industries, which brings me to this guy right here, Joel Sachs. This is the director of the Department of Labor and Industries. And that's his email address. Go ahead and send him an email. Tell him how you feel and tell him how injured workers and interpreters alike are afraid of SOSi using personal information to potentially violate HIPAA laws. We don't know if they're going to be doing that. HIPAA is only medical. They could be just providing names and some other information, but still, this is a huge conflict of interest. So those are the tools for you to contact these people, the governor and Joel Sachs from LNI. Stop giving your money to this union. The reason why they're doing all of these things is because you, or the majority of interpreters, voted for this union, and then you keep on supporting this union so they do these kinds of things. If you do not vote for them, and if you stop giving them your money, then they have no power to keep on doing so much damage to our industry. So go to optouttoday.com/WOOF61671 to opt out of this union once and for all. These are indeed trying times for interpreters, for our industry. It's only the beginning of 2026, and then we're hit with this news. And imagine injured workers that cannot show up to appointments because they fear being deported. They fear the same company providing interpreters calling ICE on them. Whether you think that's right or wrong, like, you know, ICE, they do have the right to do what they're doing. I just do not understand why the Department of Labor and Industries is allowing or keeping a contract with a company that's helping them doing this when it's actually antithetical to everything that Washington State stands for or what they say they stand for. So I hope you use the contact information that I provided in this video. Contact Governor Ferguson and Joel Sachs, LNI's director. Let them know how you feel. See you in the next one.